Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. It's an interesting day. It's an interesting Friday, and I'm loving that. Let me tell you. Life is great. I'm trying to bring the chat back on screen here, and I can't seem to do that, so I'm really sorry. I don't know why the chat's not gonna pop up on screen. It was something that wasn't working on the last stream, and it's not working here either, so I don't know. I just don't know what's going on, so sadly, that will not happen tonight, but on future streams, I promise it will. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I do appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us, talking a little Scream tonight. If you're watching this on replay as well, make sure to, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. It really helps out the page quite a bit. I'm streaming for a few fun reasons tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We may or may not have a new Scream 7 trailer on the horizon, which is really fun and exciting. And I want to talk about your guys' theories. Things you think may happen in said second trailer. What else could be going down in this puppy? So let me know your thoughts, feelings, concerns, all that fun stuff. I will read your chats, although they may not pop up on screen. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, I feel. Most people won't even do that, so I can at least do that. I can at least do y'all that solid. So let's see what's going on here. We got Lindsay saying, hey, Erica. What's up, Lindsay? How you doing? My name's Jake, but I appreciate it. I'm just kidding. The Flet from Another World. Thank you for being a channel member, Lindsay and Flet. Hey, Jake and everyone. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? Erica's saying, meowdy. Meowdy howdy. What's up? What's up? Jordan Curley is saying, hey, Jake. What's up, Jordan Curley? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you for stopping in. Chase from Moser Movies Reviews is saying, how cool would it be for you to stream at Stu's house? That would be awesome. I would love to go there one day. All the way out in the great state of California. I'd love to get out there one day. It'd be fun. I have never been to California before. Have not been that far out. It's wild. I've only been the farthest west I've been, I want to say, is like Nevada. Yeah, that sounds right. Utah area. One of those big states out there. One of the big states where the highways are 85 miles per hour. It's not that way here. All of our highways will be considered slow. It's crazy. I love that though. NRU Cody is hanging out saying, I know people won't care, but arcane skins come back tomorrow in the item shop. I don't know what you're talking about, but hell yes to the arcane skins. I got nothing. I don't know. Also, is your intro on Spotify? My intro is not on Spotify. I wish it was. That would be awesome. I should put some of my crazy music on Spotify. That would be awesome. For Misery Gaming, I'm so sorry I was late. I've been trying to do this chat thing like all day, and I've just kind of been popping in trying to see if it works. I use Stream Elements, and usually you just like set it up in the website. You copy the URL in here. I've done it a couple of times today, and nothing has worked. I don't know. I just don't know what's wrong. Couldn't tell you. I just am not. I have a brown thumb when it comes to nurturing and making things happen online. I guess I'm not very good at it. You would think I would be good at that considering I'm a YouTuber. I am not very tech savvy, sadly. NRU Cody is saying, oh, Jake saw 3 movies yesterday, Good Boy, VHS Halloween, and Together. Loved all 3. God, I love 2 of those movies so much. VHS Halloween and Together absolutely rocked. Big fan of those 2 for sure. Official Jacob Pace Wells. What's up, Jacob Wells? How's it going? I think that in the second trailer, that when Stu gets revealed as a return Ghostface, they're gonna reveal that in the trailer? Oh God, I hope not. And the trailer is gonna make us think he's back, but it's AI and a new advanced tech hologram. Oh man, Ghostface holograms are coming. It's like Disney World if it was evil. Well, I mean, you know, it is kind of evil. But anyways, you know what? Ghostface holograms. I like the idea of Ghostface using evil technology. I think that's kind of fun. I think we've seen Ghostface do that before. Would it be taking it a step too far with the hologram? I mean, I don't know. Anything can happen with the right execution, as they say. Destiny McLean is saying, hey, what's up, Destiny? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Raggedy Man, thank you so much for being a channel member, saying hi all, hi y'all. What's up, what's up? How's it going? Awfully raggedy today, I see. That's good though. That's what we like to see. I'm feeling a little raggedy myself. Who else is here saying? Chase is saying, come visit Hollywood. I really want to. California is expensive, man. I want to get out there if I can, but it's rough. It's rough going out those ways. Item shop in Fortnite, duh. Dude, I've played Fortnite like 2 times in the last like couple of years, man. I played it for the little Halloween event, and that's that's it, man. I'm sorry. I haven't been into Fortnite in a very long time. I might play more of it, though. I mean, honestly, it was kind of fun doing that for the gaming channel recently. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing tonight? I'm freaking fantastic. How are you, my friend? King Matthew, my liege. How are you? Let us know. Jordan saying, I have a few concerns about the movie. First off, I don't know how they are going to address the Sam and Tara situation. I hope they do it just as well as they did with the Sydney thing. If they don't, you know, it's not very cool. Give respect to all the different characters. You know, if you're going to respect Sydney's absence in Scream 6, you got to do the same in Scream 7, you know? Say the Carpenter sisters are off safe doing something. If they're just like, yeah, they died viciously in a horrible car accident or something, I'm going to be upset. It's not going to put a very good taste in my mouth, I would say. A lot of ways that Scream 7 can win me over. That is not one of them. That would be going the other direction, I think for sure. And King Matthew's getting into kind of like the big update, I guess, of the day, saying, if we do get another Scream 7 trailer in December, I hope they release it on the anniversary of Scream 1 on December 20th. That would be awesome. I will say we have 2 big reports from third-party sources about the Scream 7 trailer. What's going on with this? Let's get down and dirty. Down to brass tacks, as my friend Knight would say over at the Night Watch Zone. Big 2 things is we heard from Daniel Richtman that a second trailer is finished and completed and is coming very soon here. Probably not this month, but sometime in December. Beyond Reporter, another third-party source, has told us that December 4th, which is next Thursday, a little less than a week from literally right now, we will be seeing the trailer. So sometime next week. That would be pretty cool, in my opinion. I'd be down for another trailer. I mean, it has been a month. Time has really flown by fast, hasn't it? It's been a month, basically, since the last trailer already. Now, I guess, would be a good time, because we really haven't had a whole lot of marketing for Scream 7 since then. There was a little video on Thanksgiving of Ghostface stabbing a turkey to death, but, like, I don't, you know, whatever. That's a little thing. It's nothing too crazy, right? So, I don't know. Not a ton of marketing here and there. Since the trailer, so maybe it's kind of time to get that ball rolling a little bit. I'm seeing the snowball start to form into a slightly bigger ball, potentially a boulder at one point. That's kind of what we're hoping for. We don't want this to be a Scream 4 situation where they undermarket the movie and then nobody shows up. Because that's the thing about Scream 4, is that it did still make some money. People showed up, but it wasn't like Scream 5 or 6 numbers. It wasn't like, holy crap, we're making a ton of money. It was just barely under the profitability margin. So 5 and 6 obviously went way beyond that. So 7, they got to do the same thing. It does feel like they're changing up the marketing campaign a little bit. I remember when Scream 5's initial trailer dropped, same thing with 6. It kind of felt like there was something like every couple of days to talk about. If it was, you know, the Twitter or social media pages just posting something out. If it was just little tiny things like that. And we're starting to see more of it, more and more as the month has gone on. You know, November is a weird month for horror. Not as many people are interested in it. I have had the lowest amount of people subscribe to the page this month, despite the fact that I probably put out more content in November than I have any other month in the past couple of just whole months of 2025. And that's just because November, people are thinking about Christmas. They're not thinking about scary stuff anymore. Just majority of people hanging out on YouTube. October is always great. We love October, but November's tough. You know, November is always notoriously tough. But I'm still vibing. We're still making it happen. A lot of that is because of you wonderful folks, by the way, for watching the videos, watching the streams. Means quite a bit. Thank you. But I think once we get into December, once we get into and especially January, February, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be campaign this, that, going crazy, whole bunch of stuff everywhere. Scream this, Ghostface that, Scream in a Santa costume in a couple weeks, basically. So we're going to get a lot more stuff, I think, soon. The second trailer might be the thing that kicks it off. That's my theory, I guess. Erica is reminding everybody to make sure they're subscribed to Jakey Retro. That is if you like deep dive videos. Guys, I will not force you to subscribe to this page. If you're interested in deep dive videos, then go check it out. If you're not, no big deal. If you're just here for updates on upcoming horror movies, cool, rock on. But we are doing deep dives on movies from years past. Years past us. no longer in front of us. This channel is about what's up next. That page is about what's behind us. And kind of looking back on it, being able to do some more in-depth reviews, kind of covering a lot more things that we might have missed in the update process, which has been a lot of fun. I have a big video next week coming out on Bring Her Back and Talk to Me, the Filippo brother features. We're going to talk about both of them and how they both analyze grief in different ways. And I'm really excited to talk about that. If that's the kind of content you're interested in, go check it out. If not, don't check it out. Seriously, I would rather you not subscribe to that page if you're just not interested in deep dive videos, and that's totally fine. But check it out if you are. Sure, go ahead. Why not? And also check out our Discord as well, where we can talk horror 24/7, baby. Faith Dorn is also with us saying, hey, Jake, Erica, and chat. Hope everybody is having a great Thanksgiving weekend. I'm having a lot of fun. Who's Black Friday shopping right now? Maybe right now, maybe earlier today. Let me know. How many accidents happened? Was it like in Thanksgiving where people were running each other over and like ripping each other's ears off and shit? Let me know how brutal it got out there. Carter Knows All is saying happy post-Thanksgiving. I hope everyone is full of great food. I had so much good food yesterday. Too much good food, in fact. I barely even ate today. I was so full. I was just so full from yesterday still. Jacob Wells is saying, if Stu does come back, though, for whatever reason, Scream 7 will be it's going to be fan service, the movie. We already know that. I mean, come on now. The movie for the horror community, since Marvel is bringing back X-Men characters for Avengers Doomsday. I mean, yeah. I mean, do we really want Scream to be an Avengers movie, though? I guess that's kind of my big point. Like, I feel like Scream isn't that. You know, like a Scream, as of right now, I would say is not that. If it starts to bring back characters from the past, then yes, it has become that. It's become something else now. And I like when franchises evolve, but I just feel like if we're going to change it up, we should try to be going for something that is better than what came before. I don't feel like just nostalgia bait, like what the Marvel Cinematic Universe does, what, you know, Ghostbusters is doing right now. Is that better than Scream 96? I disagree personally. Maybe some people really like that. I don't. I want to see like a really fleshed out, intricate story. Like, especially that's what I like about Scream. It's kind of like the overachiever of slasher franchises. They find ways to, you know, tuck in nostalgia through meta references to other things going on in the space. They find creative ways that other franchises wouldn't do. And that's kind of what makes them stand apart. That's what makes this franchise so punk rock. If it was to conform and capitulate to everything else that was going on in the space right now, that would be like the antithesis of Scream. So I don't want to see a Scream turn into Marvel. I don't think that really makes a whole lot of sense, considering its history. I feel like that goes against what this whole franchise stands for in the first place. And I just think it would be a major shame, especially if a film from Kevin Williamson, the original creator, turned into that. That's like the ultimate sellout, in my humble opinion. With all due respect to Mr. Kevin Williamson, of course, I really hope that this film from him, is not that. That just would be, I don't know what else to say. That would be a sellout move, is what I think of that. Destiny McLean is saying, Killjoy Jake, do you think we're going to have a scene with Sydney and Ghostface fighting? I think that Sydney may shoot Ghostface at one point, you know, and take Ghostface down. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that with Sydney being in the position she is as a character, it's really tough to build tension with her now. Every time we see her in the trailer, she has a gun in hand ready to go. I also just think that Sydney Prescott is a character that, you know, the creatives are very protective over. She's somebody that they will not kill this character. They will not throw any harm her way. So how do we build tension with a character that we know going into this is not going to die, is not going to be affected physically? I say we go after her loved ones. So will Sydney be in a fight with Ghostface? I already know how that ends. That ends with Ghostface going down or running away or getting shot. Sydney's loved ones being fought. Fighting Ghostface, like what's being teased to us in the trailer. It looks like Sydney is away while Tatum is getting attacked. That to me is where tension can be built. That's where we can have some crazy chase sequences like we love from the original, but now just going after a different character, Sydney's daughter. That's the only way I think we can effectively build tension, at least for me, and maybe I'm just a impossible to please fan. Maybe that's the case. It probably is, let's be honest. But I think what I think what the deal is there is that if we just chase around Sydney, if Ghostface is just going after her with a knife, it's just that same old, same old. It just won't work considering the fact that director Kevin Williamson has said we will never kill this character. Nev Campbell has said before in the past, I will never sign on for a new Scream movie if it means Sydney dies. Now, maybe there's a way of subverting tension or subverting expectations. I have tension on the brain tonight. Maybe there's a way of subverting expectations by killing Sydney, but that also I think would suck too, which is again impossible to please. I know it's terrible. I sound like a broken record, but I really think that wouldn't work either, simply because this is a character that I think is being protected for a reason. You know what I mean? We love Sidney Prescott, and I don't really want to see her go. I think if we were to kill her off, okay, silence. There we go. Sorry if you heard that. I think if she were to go off, I think the fans would rebel in the streets. I think they'd start burning down buildings. And you know, I don't really want to see that for the character either. I think I kind of love Sydney. I don't want to see her die. So that's another thing for me. It's just a tough spot where Scream is at right now, being in this area where we can't do anything harmful to the final girl, but maybe we can with some of her loved ones to build tension. So I guess that's why it's just tough to build a story around Sydney right now. You have to do it a certain way, or it's just not going to work. But anyways, we have some more people hanging out with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have Lisa's Complete Randomness saying happy holiday season, everyone. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for hanging out with us. Happy holidays to you, my friend. We have Scream on the horizon, and we have holidays in our future. So life is good, basically. Life is good. We got family surrounding us and Ghostface coming after us in just a couple of months here. I love it. Davey Deathray is saying, hey, everyone. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, Jake. Same to you, Davey. Thanks for hanging out with us. You've heard December 4th as well. I have too, in fact. So that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. We love it. Ashton Luck is hanging out with us. What's up, Ashton? Hey, hello. Paula Fitzhenry is saying, hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. Same to you, Paula. Hope you got some good food. Got some delicious turkey. It was really funny. I was talking with my fiance will only eat turkey with jellied cranberry sauce, and like more jellied cranberry sauce than turkey, which it was very funny. Every Thanksgiving, it always just makes me giggle a little bit. So it's just can't do turkey by itself. I mean, sometimes it's too dry and sometimes it's kind of gross, but I'll tell you, when turkey is done right, man, it's banging. How are you? I was talking about your jellied cranberry sauce obsession. That was a burp. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. The whole chat appreciates it, really. Yeah?
I can hear that.
You can hear that? You can hear that in the background? For real?
I don't know if you can hear it in stream, but I could hear it from the door. So I would turn that down.
There's background music, like for that reason. There's background music, right? Let me know in the chat.
No, it's just all in your head.
So like I like to keep that going so that I can hear that I am still live to the internet. I a little bit in my ears. You know, you make fun of me for having old man ears, but honestly I can't hear that.
The ears of your dad.
I have the ears of my father, dear God. But anyways, okay, let's get back to this. Davey is saying, can I subscribe over there and complain if it's all about older movies? Yeah, absolutely. You can complain about older movies all you want, my friend. I think that I'm mostly going to be talking about movies I like over there, but I am going to try to do some deep dives into movies I don't like either. So I'm going to push myself to do that at some point. But when you're doing a deep dive video, like you're spending time with that movie a lot. Like it's on the brain, you know, you're watching it like I've seen Bring Her Back and Talk to Me multiple times in the last couple of months, covering both of these films for a big video coming out next week. And I really like those films. That's why I'm doing this video. It's going to be hard for me to do a deep dive on something I don't like, you know? Like that's kind of my thing. Everything I cover over there is stuff I enjoy watching multiple times, which I think is why I'm doing deep dives on it. So at some point I do want to push myself to eventually get into some weird shit though. Some not so great stuff. I eventually, many times in the past before, and maybe you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but I've talked about one of the worst films, if not the worst film I've ever seen in my entire life on this page, called House Shark. And it is a movie that I want to do a deep dive on because it kind of deserves a deep dive. If it's the worst movie ever made, in my humble opinion, I need to know more about it. I need to learn more about this film, where it came from, and all the strange things behind it. So at some point I will cover movies I dislike as well. Anyways, we also have Fear the Talking Heads. Is that Barb? What's up, my friend? How are you? What's up, Jake? Hope your turkey day was a good one. It was fantastic. How was your turkey day? Filled with turkey, I hope. Delicious, tasty, juicy turkey, not dry turkey. Come on now. Come on now. Erica's throwing $2 out there as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Half of you haven't hit the like button. What is this amateur hour? Guys, if you hit the like button, there's a little scary, screamy dude. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if YouTube just did that for my channel or what the heck's going on with that. I've noticed this recently, but there's a little scary guy that pops out of you if you hit the like button. So that should be incentive more than anything. But also, if you don't, Erica will bite off all of your fingers, like all 10 digits. You will have 0 going home, and I would hate for that to happen. But Erica only eats fingers, and truly that would be an awful occurrence if you just didn't hit the like button. You know, Erica does need to be fed though, so I don't know what to tell you. Hey, Erica, thank you so much for the 2 though. I'm just messing with you, and I really do appreciate your support of the page quite a bit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't miss anything, did I? I didn't miss any. Okay, good. We also have Dribble Z the God. We have a god in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. All hail Dribbles, the god. Saying, Jake, I think Anna is related to Casey Becker. You know, I could see that. She's, you know, blonde and a blonde, right? I mean, we're seeing genetic things that line up, right? Okay, so related to Casey Becker, why is she killing people now if she's related to Casey Becker? I mean, we haven't really thought about her in a couple of movies, I feel, you know? Hit me with the why. I'm curious why Casey Becker family members are all of a sudden, 30 years later down the line, pissed off, wanting revenge on Sydney. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. You know, everything is in execution. So I'm open-minded to it. I'm down. I'm totally here for it. Lisa is also saying, what if Leslie is the red herring the entire movie? Then she's like Sid's dad and has been kidnapped. Just before she dies, she tells Sydney to find Stu. He will help take the killers down. We just want Stu more than anything. It's just, it's Stu City, baby. I will say, I know my beloved friend Craven Something Scary would have absolutely loved Stu coming back. So even if he does come back in this movie and I'm just totally wrong about Stu's sister, I'll probably still enjoy it just because I know Craven really enjoyed it. And I know I sound like like I said earlier, such an impossible to please fan, but I'm really not. I know I'm walking out of that theater with a smile from ear to ear, no matter what this movie is. I will probably like other movies more, if I'm being honest. That's my speculations on Scream 7, but I'm such a fan. I love this franchise to death. And I'm probably still going to be vibing with this one, no matter what they end up doing. So I just think I really don't want them to turn into what everyone else is doing. You know, I think that's the Scream spirit, is to try to push things in new directions and do some different things. And I really feel deep down in my heart that Kevin Williamson wouldn't turn this franchise into what everyone else is doing. You know, he's always written against the grain. He's always written in ways that tries to subvert expectations, even if it falls flat on its face. That attempt is always there. And I hope that attempt is also present here in Scream 7. more than anything. I really hope that it feels like we tried to do something different and just not exactly what everyone was expecting. Sky Gene Movies is saying, waiting for the snowstorm here in Omaha. Oh, the snowstorm already hit us here in Cleveland, let me tell you. It is Snow City out here. Last night, I was getting snow off my fiance's car, and then like this morning, I look out the window and just snow's already on her car all over again. It snowed all night. I was like, damn it. I worked so hard to get snow off the car. It's brutal, but be careful. And also be wary of black ice, dude. We drove home from, all of our family's houses last night very late, and it was black ice all over the highway. Seriously, be careful out there if you're driving, ladies and gentlemen. Just take it slow. You will get to where you're going. It's all good. Take your time. Do not drive too fast if you are in a snowy area as of right now. Just take your time. Trust me on that one. Ethel is hanging out with us. Ethelbert Best? Is that what's up? Ethelbert? Is your full name Ethelbert? That's awesome. What's up, Ethel? How we doing? How's it going, guys? We're talking a little Scream 7. We're vibing out. How are you, my friend? Welcome in, welcome in. The Alpha. Ayo, ayo. But yeah, no tension is really left. Talking about Sidney Prescott. Hang on, there's a part 1 to this. Saying maybe if Sidney could be disabled in such a way, obviously she has kids, but if a Ghostface prevented her from having kids in the future long ago, what? Oh my God. Ghostface is like taking organs out of Sidney Yikes. Now this is some like David Cronenberg shit right here. This is some Dead Ringer shit is what we're getting into. My God. I do like the idea of Ghostface has got to traumatize Sydney again if this story is going to have stakes. I hate to say it because I love Sydney and I don't want any protect her at all costs. But I think if we're going to have stakes in this movie, something unfortunately bad has to happen. It's just kind of the nature of a slasher movie. I think at the end of the day, I know these are comfort movies too, but you gotta draw that line between comfort and also doing a slasher movie, because Scream is more than just one thing. Scream is so many things all at the same time. Alex is hanging out with us saying, can't decide between Weapons or Bloodlines for movie of the year. Personally, Weapons is my number one, but I absolutely loved Bloodlines and it is totally making my top 10. In terms of franchise continuations, I think Final Destination Bloodlines was definitely one of my favorites. I also loved 28 Years Later, dude. I don't know. I know a lot of people hated it. I loved it. It's probably my second favorite movie. It's my number 2 of 2025, I think, without a doubt. Barb is also, this is me, Barb. So Barb, I know don't you run this Talking Heads thing with somebody else, right? Am I incorrect in saying that? I might be, maybe I'm talking out of my ass. But Barb, hello, thank you for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate you, and I'm glad you had a great turkey day. You're all about cranberry turkey combo as well. Listen, I vibe with it. Okay, I'm not dissing it. I just think it was really funny that Madison was eating more cranberry sauce than the turkey. It made me laugh a little bit. Tell your girl to toss some stuffing on top of it and she's golden, huh? Barb, the way you're wording that's getting me all scared. No, I'm just messing with you. I too, though, love mixing all the flavors of Thanksgiving together. She does not. She's not crazy about mixing too many flavors. She specifically has all the different portions not touching each other on the plate. I'm just throw it all together. I like a big Thanksgiving smoothie, basically. Throw it all in the blender and I'll just drink it right up. I'm kidding. That's too far. But I like when the flavors of Thanksgiving all mix together. I look forward to it every single year, baby. So I eat literally everything on that table. I'm eating the whole thing. I ain't picky, baby. Let's go. Let's make it happen. But I love it. Some very good stuff. Okay, Dribbles the God. Follow-up from the super chat again. Thank you for the support. Saying, I think somehow Casey's sis was in the psych ward and her and other old victims' family members will be Ghostface. Casey did start this whole thing, Maureen, but she's one of the first victims. So we're calling back to the original essentially by saying that someone from Casey's family, saying her sister in this instance, went to a psych ward kind of vibe. I feel it's the family connection again. I've been pitching the whole thing of Leslie Mocker, and a lot of that just comes from the fact that we've had this name dropped in Scream 5 already. And I feel like 7, any sort of tie to the original, any loose end from the original that's still out there in the franchise, we're going to wrap it up if we can, because Scream is obsessed with bringing everything back to that original event. And now that we're following the original final girl again, I don't think Scream can help itself. It's we just learned that Stu has a sister. We got to make her a killer somehow. That's, again, my thoughts going into this. I think, if I had the reins on the Scream franchise, I would do something differently personally. But I know this franchise and I know how obsessed it is with keeping things, tying back to the original somehow to maybe flavor the original movie differently. I would argue that they have yet to do something that is a revision of the original that made it better or stronger in some way. I think they should just leave the original alone and do their own sequels that are just crazy, whatever pocket stories. But that's my humble opinion. It's what I think Scream would be better if it was episodic, if I'm being so real. You could bring characters back or whatever, but I think Ghostface should be not only a different person every single time, but I think they should be going after different people every single time. I mean, if you want to bring Gail and Sydney into it again, sure, why not? But I just think it would be way more interesting if Ghostface was going after different people in each installment. Kind of to spotlight up and comers just like the original film did and like many of the sequels have done, and then also give us a new Ghostface killer with a brand new motive every single time. I mean, that's the most fun part of this whole franchise that not only makes it unique but is also great to just keep coming back to with every single new installment. I mean, Scream could go on forever if it really wanted to by doing something like that, but so many times it chooses to just keep connecting back to the original. And how many times can you do that before it starts to get really convoluted? I mean, is it already there? You know, I mean, it's some questions that have been going through my brain. And I love Scream so much. I don't want to, it's a very fragile ecosystem, this franchise, because of how complicated it's become. And I just think we gotta untwist the knot a little bit. We gotta loosen things up. We gotta make this thing just kind of fun and chill moving forward. We don't have to do this crazy Stu's sister storyline. I don't think we have to do it. But again, I'm staying open-minded to it, and I hope it rocks, whatever it is. So we've heard some good I think they're approaching Scream 7 in the right way to tell this story, you know? That's my big thing about it. I'm like, if you're gonna do a Sydney story, it's gotta be about her loved ones at this point getting attacked by Ghostface. This is good. It's all in good fun. I think if you're gonna do the Sydney story, that's the way to make it happen. Luddy Network also with us saying, I could see Sydney sacrificing herself for her daughter. Hot take. You know, I'm not even, it's not even that I'm against this. I just genuinely don't think they'll do it. But, you know, the other thing I didn't think they would ever do is kill one of the main three characters, meaning Gail, Sydney, Dewey. Never thought they would do that in a million years. And, well, here we are. So anything's possible. I'm just some talking head on the internet. I just want to make that so clear. I'm just some guy whose hair is way too long and whose beard needs to be fucking trimmed. That's all I am. I don't, what the hell am I talking about? Y'all could be way more right than I am. I'm just some asshole who's watched these movies. So who knows what's going on? That's the fun of it. That's what I love about Scream Talk, baby. It's that nobody knows what's going to happen. And I will say I got to gloat a little bit. Listen, little self-deprecation, okay? We got that out of the way. I got to have a little bit of fun now. I was very right about one of my Stranger Things predictions for season 5. I will not say what it is because it's a big spoiler. But I'm very proud of myself for that one. That's all I'm going to say. If you've seen the prediction video, the Stranger Things 5 prediction video, you might know what I'm talking about. There's one, I had a shot in the dark prediction there. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to happen, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh man, I was over the moon. Madison was like, why are you celebrating right now? And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I just feel really good about myself right now. Just let me have this moment. It was funny. But anyways, can't wait to see The Escape from Camazotz. If you know, you know. Stranger Things 5, really interesting though. Check out my review if you haven't seen it. And also watch Stranger Things 5. It was cool. It was pretty cool. Chills Films is saying favorite horror and non-horror film of the year. Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm angry. I'm so angry that's a good question. I'm kidding. Favorite horror movie I think was without a doubt Weapons. I said it in my review and I still say it now. That is a generational horror film. I mean, that's a movie like The Shining level. Great. Maybe it's too early to say something like that, but man, I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're still going to be talking about Weapons and how outrageously amazing that movie is. It's a genuine 10 out of 10. I loved it so much. I'm seriously going to be, I'm going to watch that. That's a yearly watch for me, at least, moving forward forever. So I loved that movie to death. I thought Weapons was just amazing. So few horror films can capture like the vibes of an entire generation, and Weapons just, I don't know, if you look at like the scariest shit from the last 5 years, there's something in Weapons that's kind of about it in one way, shape, or form. It's a generational horror film. I think it's amazing. I'm in love with that movie. That's easily my favorite this year. I don't think anything's gonna top it. Even though we do have some really exciting movies on the horizon, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which very thankful that I'm gonna be able to see that one early. Hopefully have an early review out on the page next week. And then Silent Night, Deadly Night too, dude. Like I'm really excited for that as well. Non-horror though. What's my favorite non-horror film of the year? I'm really trying to think what came out that I'm so invested in horror. Can this count? Here's my question. This is horror adjacent, so I'll throw this one out there. Frankenstein. Holy shit. Listen, I don't mean to glaze Netflix because they hate movie theaters for some reason, but Netflix shit this year, pretty good. We crap on Netflix a lot for not having a great selection in horror, but I've been really enjoying Stranger Things, and Del Toro's Frankenstein absolutely banged. That was awesome. It's more of like a fantasy epic rather than a horror film too, which I think is really cool. So I'm gonna go with that. I really liked that. I liked that movie quite a bit. That was amazing. So a lot of great movies this year though. I still haven't seen Life of Chuck, which I've heard very good things about. I believe Matthew Lillard is actually in that. Not a horror film, but does come from Mike Flanagan and Stephen King story. So I've heard very good things. That's on my watch list. I imagine that's going to be a top 10 outside of the realm of horror, right? I can't wait to see that one. I've heard nothing but good things from my friends who like review all the movies, and I can't wait to watch it. Very good stuff. Dribbles is hanging out with us again. Appreciate you, Dribbles. Thank you for the 2. Saying, if you had to, how would you make stew alive? Honestly, I've talked about this on previous streams, but I love talking about my stew theory, so I'll throw it out there again. Big thing. I would love to see Stu be like a golem who's living in a basement somewhere and he's being worshipped by like these stab fans. So like he's been kept alive, but he's like not even human anymore, basically. Like he's been eating dog food in a fucking basement for 30 years. So he looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. You know, he's like, his skin is all gray and white. His hair is all wispy and nasty, and he like all of his teeth are missing. He's like a monster, basically. He looks like the lady monster from Barbarian, is it the mother? Is that what they called her? Basically that character from Barbarian. And he's like living in a basement, eating dog food, as you do. And our Ghostface killers this time around are this like stab cult that worships him, basically. He's like this monster god that has completely lost any sort of personality or who he was beforehand. That would be I would lose my mind at that, because that's so weird and gross. And I love weird and gross. You might, if you know how much I love talking about the VHS franchise, you know I love weird and gross. So I just would love to see something insane like that. I love insane, weird plot twists, and like if that was the reason why Stu was alive this whole time, count me in, baby. I'm on the Stu train. Let's go. Chugga chugga, choo choo. That's what I say to all that. So that's what I would do personally, because I just think, again, Dark Stu being all like, Sydney, I'm here to get you. I don't know. That's not a Scream twist to me. I still want to see new ghost faces being revealed. I still want to see people being hidden in plain sight that we figure out later on are ghost faces the whole time. That's just part of the Scream formula. It's one of my favorite things about Scream. Don't change that, you know? But if you can have a motive like that is so wildly different than anything that has happened before, we still are picking ghost faces out of a crowd. But then we're bringing Stu back for just a completely unexpected reason, a reason that hasn't been talked about so many times in live streams just like this. Sign me up, baby. I'm down for some crazy bullshit. A lot of the Stu theories are he just wants revenge on what happened back in 96. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like we've seen that before. Sure, it's a little different because it's a character who we believed was dead, but actually is alive underneath, the mask. I don't know. I feel like we've seen that before. It's stuff that I feel like we've kind of done already in this franchise. Give me Gollum Stu. Give me Gollum Stew or give me death. But Tribbles, thank you for the $2. I greatly appreciate you. Another point to that, just real quick, is I'm down to entertain any theory. I'm here for it. I love all kinds of theories. Please make your theories known, ladies and gents. Gemstone Ghoul, how's it going? Saying, I'm so ready for another trailer. Also, welcome to Derry is getting better and better. Episode 5 was truly terrifying. I couldn't agree more. Episode 5, I think one of the best episodes of all of Welcome to Derry. We finally got to see Pennywise. That's not a spoiler. It is all over the internet. If you've been on the internet anytime within the last week, you know this. And I won't say how he's in it or what he does, but you should check it out. There's another part of it that I feel like is the spoiler. That's what I'll say. So go watch it, check it out. It's great. A lot of great TV series going on. And after I read the super chat, I want to tell you about my new favorite television show that is on right now that no one's talking about, at least in my little circle. Let's get to this. Barb is saying, yeah, rotating cast of co-hosts on the channel. Okay, you rotate. I got you. I didn't know that was the case, but very cool stuff. Check out Barb's podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Barb is a very cool lady. Anyways, you're also saying best way to get different perspectives. Totally agree. That's why I've been kind of trying to have multiple people on the show lately to talk a little Scream. You're also saying, P.S. love the shorts you've been putting out lately. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. It's been fun doing all that. It's been fun putting out a bunch of weird shorts about a bunch of different topics, because that's my big thing about this page is I love talking Scream, and I know that's kind of the main attraction around here, but I also love talking about all these other different series and things going on. So the shorts kind of allow me to talk about like things like the Creep Tapes and Welcome to Derry, all this other stuff that like I don't know why it just doesn't hit on my channel for whatever reason. But even Stranger Things, which was like top of the. My calendar just fell off my wall. Sorry, that scared the crap out of me. But even Stranger Things, which is like top of the charts in terms of things that are popular right now in the movie verse. I mean, those 2 videos I put out this week haven't even cracked 1,000 views. And like, I don't know. I think I've just I've screamed myself into oblivion. So this channel's gonna be Scream, and when there's no more Scream movies, I think the channel's just gonna die, which is a really sad and depressing outlook. But we're going to have fun for the time being. And that's why I'm starting all these other channels. So if you still want to hang out and talk just movies with Jake, hey, we're doing other channels too. So I'm going to just scream this channel into oblivion, and we'll see where it goes from there. But Barb, I really do appreciate you a ton. Thank you for watching the shorts. It means quite a bit to me. And thank you for your support of the page. Means a bunch. And I can't wait to, hopefully I could be a co-host on maybe I could be one of those rotating co-hosts at one point. That would be a ton of fun. But Barb, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for the 5, and I greatly appreciate you again. Who else is with us here? We got Chillin' Killin' Dylan, absolutely chillin' out there. Is saying, seriously though, Weapons was pretty good, not so much scary, just good, great even. Oh man, I thought that was kind of one of the reasons why I put it so far up there. That was probably the movie that scared me the most this year, if I'm being honest. I watch a lot of horror films, I'll be honest. Not a ton of them scare me anymore. But like, what was the one that like genuinely left me kind of fucked up? It was that movie. And again, I think that just comes from the fact that it hits on a lot of stuff indirectly that's going on in the real world. They're very tough subjects that I don't know if I really want to discuss here on a YouTube live stream that's supposed to be a little more fun, but I think that film does a really good job at, analyzing those things while also still creating a fun horror story to vibe out with a little bit. But I don't know, man, that scene where one of the characters, if you haven't seen Weapons, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene where a character is staking out a house, and she falls asleep, and the door to the house opens, and someone walks out with a pair of scissors and just walks towards the car in this really crazy jerky motion. And it is that's honest to God, I think, scariest sequence in a film all year. I think that's my number one. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but that movie scared the piss out of me. I was like, oh my God, that's one of many. There's like 2 or 3 scenes in that movie too that I think just were yikes, holy shit. 28, and I think the first 30 minutes of 28 Years Later is up there too. I think that's why that ranks so high for me. That was another like, that was scary, dude. Fuck, what the hell's going on there? A lot of good movies this year, though. I think those were the 2 scariest, though, in my opinion. Erica is saying, I just watched Together and that was awful. Not a fan of Together. It's a weird one. Together is a weird one, man. I enjoyed it personally, but it's not scary. It's just it's body horror romance. If you like The Notebook and you like David Cronenberg, you'll like Together, but that is not, that's usually not the same crowd. So Together's a weird one, and not everyone's gonna vibe with it, that's for sure. It is also, I know a lot of people don't like when movies are just one big metaphor for something, and that's all Together is. Together is one big metaphor, one very blatantly obvious metaphor for just marriage. And if that's not your vibe, you're probably not going to like that one. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was it broke down the whole, codependent relationship thing really well. And it made me it made me a little emotional at times. I will say that. So I think Dave and Allison absolutely killed it in that movie. And no, they didn't I don't believe they stole the idea based on what we're hearing from the director, at least. I don't know. I'm not one to say, but just based on what we've heard, I don't know that if they actually stole an idea or not. Anyways, what else do we got going on here? I feel like letting Matthews acting will be amazing if they write Stu as have been rehabilitated via therapy. Part of his making amends requires him to come forward and apologize to his victims. I'm not totally against that. I'll, with a big old, depending on how they do it, but The idea of Stu, becoming a good guy is interesting to me. I don't know. It's always cool to do like a complicated, weird arc like that. Like that is something that fascinates me because I'm like, how do you turn a Ghostface into a good guy? You know what I mean? That to me is sounds like a difficult writing assignment, and that's why I'd be kind of really interested in that. I think it kind of reminds me a lot of Cotton Weary, who is a kind of one of those characters who's in a like somewhere in between, you know what I mean? Like he's not exactly a good guy, he's not exactly a bad guy either. So much so that he's a red herring even in Scream 2. Cotton Weary is a character who is, he's self-important. He's totally motivated by just clearing his own reputation. And he does things that are pretty unsavory in Scream 2, man. And I think that's what leads to his death in Scream 3, pretty much. You know what I mean? In a lot of thematic ways, maybe not directly, so to say. But Cotton Weary is such an interesting character. If they wanted to do something similar to that with Stu, I could maybe get into that because I like complicated, complex characters. And honestly, I think the more I think about just general Scream characters, Cotton Weary is easily in the top 10. Like, I think he has one of the most interesting arcs of any of the Scream characters, genuinely. So I'm a weird Cotton Weary fanboy, honestly. I'm Liev Schreiber's also amazing too. So I mean that's a big part of it as well. But man, lots to love with complex characters in the Scream universe. There's not too many of them, but that's one of them, and I like that. Turning Stu into that. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? We'll try it out. Well, I'm open-minded to that. That's crazy. Gemstone Ghoul is saying, once I watch the new season, I'll go check them out. You will be successful after Scream. Well, who knows? Hopefully, I hope, It's weird. Every now and then something takes off. The Final Destination stuff earlier this year, I cannot thank you guys enough for. Thank you for watching my weird Final Destination videos. That really means a lot. Hello? Huh? Oh, I'm like, I dumbfounded. No idea what you're talking about. So.
That's what you're starting.
Yeah. I'm cutting line. No, I'm kidding. I can't say that on YouTube. I have a fun announcement that my fiance reminded me about. I had so many announcements, so many exciting announcements that I forgot about all of them. So there has been a lot of comments for people asking me, Jake, I can't believe you haven't seen this, and that. A lot of TV shows. And part of the Patreon specific program, I know we have the channel members here where you get like badges and like different things that you can do on live stream. Thank you for the burp. Appreciate that. Over here on the YouTube channel memberships, you get a bunch of live stream perks that if you're a Patreon supporter, you don't. So for the longest time, I've been thinking to myself, what is a cool thing that we can do over on Patreon that's specific to that we can't do here for YouTube? And one of those things is uploading reactions to stuff with that thing in the background. If I were to upload that to YouTube, it would go down in a minute, just like that. But you can upload that stuff to Patreon. So I'm going to upload my reactions to different trailers and stuff over there, and also different TV shows and stuff that a lot of you guys have been requesting I watch. One of those things is Dexter, and we will absolutely get to that soon, but the Vampire Diaries is what we're going to start with. So that's going to be a new member perk for our Patreon members specifically. Sadly, I cannot upload that to YouTube or it will just get taken down immediately. But I think this will be kind of cool. It'll be like an option. It'll be like, do you want to support here if you're more about the live streams on the page where it's like you get different, like if you're a member for a month, for instance, you get to send in like what is essentially a super chat without paying for it. Or you get a member's badge, whatever. But if you're more interested in like the videos, for instance, on this page, and you want to see more like more videos, more reactions and stuff, you can check that out over on Patreon. And then of course for both, if you're a member wherever, you get to see a weekly review on a new horror movie or television show, which is pretty damn cool. So we are just the membership program is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every couple of months here. It's been crazy. And this is going to be a new thing that we're doing over on Patreon. If that's something you're interested in, you can go over there and check that out. But yeah, just something we've been tossing around here that I think we're going to actually make happen starting this weekend. I'm gonna actually sit down and watch Kevin Williamson's The Vampire Diaries because my fiance claims it's very good. It kind of just looks like a bunch of hot vampires running around being sexy. And hey, not that that's a bad thing. When it comes to a TV show, I want a little more than that. Madison is promising me that it is more than. Can you tell the audience at home? Is it more than sexy vampires?
Yes.
It is in fact more than sexy vampires. So I will be giving my review, my thoughts on these sexy vampires and what else is going on, whatever else is going on in the show. And I'm excited to talk about it and watch how many seasons? 8 seasons.
171 episodes.
You know what? Listen, 171 episodes of we see abs, I imagine, right? Some sexy vampire abs. Okay, well, you know what? I can't complain too much.
All
That's
genders.
of all. What about the men though?
Yes.
Okay. At least that's covered. But we will absolutely we will absolutely make that happen. So that's going to be a new thing over on Patreon. I'll stop talking about it. I'm so sorry. But I did want to throw that out there. I thought that would be fun. But yes, rock and roll. We're going to have a lot of fun with all that fun stuff. Anyways, let's say hi to some more wonderful friends we have hanging out with us. The Green Gaze is saying Heard Liev Schreiber isn't well. Is he not well? I'm not 100% sure about that. That's no good. I hope he's doing well. Sending much love and good health to him if something's not going well his way. Big Brisk Yo is saying had Cotton lived through the opening, he'd be an endgame character. He should have been he should have still been alive. I think if I'm being real, I think he should have died in Scream 3. Like I'm no complaints about his arc. I love Cotton as a character, but he was a jerk and he got his comeuppance for it in a karmic way. And I like that. I kind of like that vibe of the scales rebalancing or whatever, however you want to spin it. But I've always loved that arc for Cotton. Feels very fitting. It's a travesty that Thanksgiving 2025 is gone without Thanksgiving 2. Yeah, but at least Eli Roth is working on a new horror film. We have his Ice Cream Man movie on the horizon coming out sometime next year. And it sounds insane. I'll tell you what, as much as I would love a Thanksgiving 2, I am very excited that we're getting this movie. It's about an ice cream man that gives a bunch of evil treats to kids and people in a suburb, and bad things start happening to them because of said evil treats. I think that sounds awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, that sounds like the craziest idea for a movie ever. And I think that it has the same title as a different movie also called Ice Cream Man, but kind of a different concept. But I'm so ready. I'm so down for whatever Eli's cooking up here, and I really think it's going to be something fun. Thanksgiving 2 is still happening, though, and Ethel is actually already bringing it up. A few people from the cast, I think, what's-her-face, Nell something? I can't remember her name, but like our lead of Thanksgiving had said something about Thanksgiving 2 still happening. I think Addison Rae has also said something about it. So I guess it's still happening. It's still in the works. I think that Eli has just put it on the back burner. He did just start a whole company that has put out 2 new movies this year. If you didn't see those, Jimmy and Stiggs and Dream Eater, I thought were both pretty damn good. Not like 10 out of 10s or anything like that, but interesting flicks. Definitely nothing like a Blumhouse release where I'm like, okay, whatever, I never need to revisit that movie again. But there was some interesting releases there, for sure. Jimmy and Stiggs, it's a splatter flick in the same vein as something like Evil Dead 2, or even like early Peter Jackson flicks, if you're a fan of like Dead Alive, or even, what's the puppet movie that he made, Meet the Feebles? It kind of has that same energy about it. Jimmy and Stiggs was really cool. And then Dream Eater is something a little more out of the same playbook as like Paranormal Activity, which was cool. It's almost like Paranormal Activity meets The Shining if H.P. Lovecraft like jerked off all over it, essentially. That's basically what Dream Eater is. Give it a watch. It was cool. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. So, so some good stuff there from his company. And then this movie directed from him, which those last two, not from Eli Roth, just produced. He's going to be doing this Ice Cream Man movie with that company. Point being, my guy's busy. He's getting to Thanksgiving. It's going to happen. But I'm excited for Ice Cream Man. I guess that's my point. Anyways, Loaded is a beast. X. Are you loaded as a beast, or you're loaded the beast? Well, that's a line of questioning I don't really want answered. Anyways, hello, my friend. That is a beast. Saying, I was pissed when Dewey died. They should have killed Gale instead. I love Dewey, but again, I feel kind of the same way about him and Cotton. It's like that was the right time for these characters to go. These were, beloved. Not Cotton wasn't. I don't know if Cotton was beloved, but Dewey was a beloved character that it pulled at the heartstrings. Really pulled me into Scream 5. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was not really vibing with Scream 5 up until that whole little sequence where Judy and Wes die and then Dewey dies. I was like, okay, now whatever y'all do next, I'm on board with. But man, I think 5 has one of the toughest setups. Like, it was just really shaky start, and then once we get into that part of the movie, that's where I was kind of invested personally. I don't really like the way they introduced a lot of the new characters, even though I start to like more of them as the movie goes on. But a lot of weird stuff happening in Scream 5 up until that point. That was when I was like, okay, this movie's actually giving me a reason to watch. Here we go. Let's make this happen. And Dewey sacrificing himself for people he just met is the most Dewey way to go out. That is Dewey through and through. My guy's heart is way bigger than his brain, sadly. And yeah, I think he was always going to die in this franchise at some point. Scottish Geek Guy is saying, I think Stu will have been rehabilitated. He spent 30 years in jail. He's out. He ends up saving Sydney. Would he save Sydney? I don't know. I don't know. What would Stu do in this case? Would he want to help out Sydney in her small town, or I don't know. Anything could happen. Who is the killer then if Stu isn't the killer? If he's rehabilitated, then who's running around killing people claiming they're from Woodsboro, That's my question, I guess. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, did hell just freeze over, or did you just confirm you're going to watch Dexter? I am going to watch Dexter at some point. It's going to happen. That will be a part of the Patreon thing as well. And I think I'm going to start covering television shows over on the retro page as well. But I think what I'm going to start covering is some of the Apple TV. There is some excellent stuff on Apple TV that I have not watched until very recently. My new favorite show on television right now is Pluribus. Holy shit. Guys, if you're not watching, it's horror adjacent. It's not exactly outright, people are getting shredded into pieces every episode or anything like that. But if you want some good sci-fi, Pluribus is the best thing on television right now, dude. Oh my God. I'm blown away. It's the new show from Vince Gilligan, who of course was, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The latter there being my favorite television show ever. Pluribus is just, every episode makes me want more. And the latest episode, episode 5, has an unbelievable cliffhanger that I am so pissed about. And I'm so mad I'm watching it now and I didn't wait until the whole thing came out and I could just binge it, because I'm dying. I need those answers, Vince. I need them. I'm dying over here. I want to know what's going on. But I love Pluribus to death. It is my favorite show on television right now. Creep Tapes and It Welcome to Derry are very good, but Pluribus is something else, dude. That is some mind-blowing shit right there. So lots to love with that show. I think I'm going to cover it over on the retro page sometime very soon. But Dexter is something I will be covering over there, because I'm excited for it. And Jem is saying, after Vampire Diaries, you should watch Supernatural. Dude, that's like 100 seasons. I'm exaggerating, but I don't think I'm too far off. I'll be covering that for the rest of my time on this planet, I think, if I do that. But you know what? Maybe I will. I know Fate Decided is a very big fan of Supernatural. He'll lose his mind about that. Foxtrot is saying, wait, how do we know a new trailer is coming? We've learned from Daniel Richtman, a third-party source, that a new Scream trailer is finished and on the way, but probably not coming this month. We've heard from another third-party source, Beyond Reporter, that it should be coming out next Thursday, December 4th. And if that's the case, your boy will be covering it, of course. So I'm excited. We should be getting more stuff anyways. If this trailer is a bunch of hocus pocus, we should be definitely getting some stuff next month. If it's a trailer, a TV spot, a little teaser, again, something. Because, man, we've barely done any more marketing in November after the big trailer came out right at the end of October. So it's been a month. I think we're going to finally see some more Scream marketing. Maybe the social media accounts will be a little more active, giving us some more posters, giving us some more marketing. They better do the same thing as what they did with 5 and 6, man. Listen, say what you want about those movies, but they had better marketing campaigns than like most of the Scream sequels, dude. My God. That's the reason 5 and 6 made so much money. if I'm being real, is because the marketing campaigns were so strong, and I really hope they don't switch that up moving into 7 here. Do the same exact shit, if not crazier. Please, God, make it happen. So I really want to see, I really want to see a new trailer soon. And also the social media accounts become a little more active, because man, being able to post, not only being able to post videos about that all the time, but it just felt like there was always something to talk about regarding Screams 5 and 6 in those 3 months before they released, and I think that's what put so many butts in seats when it ultimately arrived in theaters, was the fact that everybody was talking about it for that entire 3 months. It's been, we're starting to get to that point where I'm like, well, nothing else to talk about regarding Scream. I guess I'm going to talk about Stranger Things this week, So I think next month they're really going to pick that up. I think especially after Five Nights at Freddy's comes out. I think that's why they're releasing it on December 4th, because that's the night of early previews for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And who's in Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Of course, Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard. So I'm thinking that's going to draw some more attention to Scream. That's why they're releasing the trailer then. It's like, hey, you like Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Well, come check out Scream 7 in a couple of months. That's my guess, at least. I think that makes the most sense, at least. You just posted your review for Welcome to Derry episode 1. So happy the show gets better as you watch. I really agree. I think maybe the show dipped a little bit in episodes 3 and 4, but I feel like it was like set up to episode 5. And I won't say any more than that if you haven't seen it. But no, I've been really enjoying Welcome to Derry. I think it's been better than where my expectations were for it, because I think when a lot of horror franchises go to the small screen, they typically dip in quality, at least in my experience. But this is a rare case where I think the show has done some things maybe even better than the movies. I feel like they're not as restrained to the book's story, so they're able to be a little more, they have some more freedom, obviously, to kind of tell their own original story. And I think that's where Welcome to Derry has mostly thrived. It's doing a lot of things that, especially Castle Rock, which tried to put all of the different like Castle Rock themed Stephen King stories together all into one show. It's doing that concept, but better, which is great, because again, just limitations are very much so off with this show, I feel. And it's kind of just the, creators and different writers, showrunners, being able to tell whatever kind of stories they want, and then just apply this very transformative character, literally and figuratively, as your main antagonist. So I think that Welcome to Derry is doing all the right moves for not only Stephen King fans, but also newcomers, maybe people who are being introduced to it for the first time. There's a lot of great stuff here that I think this could be a starting place. This can be a jumping point. This can be a great continuation to the movies as well. It's a really good idea, really good concept for the show. The way they're going about it is really excellent. Loving the concept, loving the execution. What else is going on here? Jake, since more WWE characters like Rhea Ripley are entering the horror movies like Terrifier, are you going to give wrestling a shot? Maybe one day. I feel like wrestling is very impossible to get into. There's just so much of it. There's so much, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. A lot of my friends have been super into wrestling. I've seen a little bit of it. But I've also seen a lot of content creators blow up recently, pivot from horror to wrestling, which I think has been really interesting. So there's a lot of love for the WWE, man. I know nothing about it though, and I think that's my big thing is I feel like you have to kind of be a little knowledgeable about this stuff to talk about it. I might check it out on my own time. I don't know if I would feel confident enough to do a YouTube channel about it. That's kind of my thing. I have spent literally the last like 6-7 years of my, I didn't do that on purpose. I have spent the last 6 years, hard 6 of my life studying horror films. And like, I feel very confident talking about them. But, when it comes to like, thank you for another burp. The chat really appreciates it. When it comes to talking about a lot of other stuff, like I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know too much about all that fun stuff. HMG Workout Fitness is saying, hey, Jake just joined, but in 7, do you think Chad will die? I think Chad totally could die, and I think part of that would kind of be meta, right? Because a lot of people have been talking online about how they're like, how the hell did Chad live through Scream 7? What is going on here? Crazy. Dude took a stab to every vital organ in his chest region and somehow gave the he's the Terminator, baby. But will he live through this one? I mean, honestly, wouldn't it be I love Chad, but wouldn't it be kind of funny if he gets like the shit stabbed out of him and he then dies? It's just like, I'm morbid, I guess. I think that's really fucked up, but Madison's giving me the stink look right now. Don't you eat those. Don't you eat the last soup dumplings in the freezer right now. Oh, man. Guys, there's nothing I can do. The soup dumplings are gone. Yeah, can I have them frozen? They're empty. The disrespect for the soup dumplings. I do hear something. What is that? There's a it's the microwave. I'm like, wait, what? Actually, what is that? There's a buzzing in the house. It's the microwave. I'm waiting for the ding. I'm waiting for the boop. They're done. I'm so sad. Who likes soup dumplings out there? Let me know. I think I'm getting hungry now. I think the Thanksgiving dinner has officially digested. Yeah, can I be real with you? And I want to tell this to the 70 people watching me right now. I pooped so much today. An ungodly amount. Let's see how many people we lose from that. We just lost 3 people after I said that. I'm so glad. Anyways, now that you guys know about my bowel movements, let's talk about movies again. Queric is saying that Severance is good over there. I just started that as well. Also fantastic. Wow. I'm 4 episodes deep into the Severussi, and I'm excited to see where else it goes. There's a 2nd season of that already out, so I'm excited. Very good show as well. Pluribus, fantastic though. Like my favorite show on television right now. Babe, you got to watch that. Pluribus, it's so good. Oh my god. But anyways, Foxtrot is saying hope they start Thank you. Hope they start releasing little posters or promos to keep the hype going. I still remember how the marketing for 6 got me, and more as someone who lives in New York. Right? I mean, that's exciting. Scream's coming to your city, essentially. You know, I think that's a big part of the love for Scream 6 is the New York vibes. And I know a lot of people are like, it just kind of comes off as a big city. It's not really even New York Scream. I strongly prefer that. If it was Ghostface going to Coney Island and I don't know, that's more of like that's not New York City. But point being, if it's Ghostface, jumping off of the Statue of Liberty and climbing the Empire State Building, like that would have been corny, man. Like I don't want that. that's like Jason Takes Manhattan shit. That's exactly what Scream needed to avoid, I feel. So I Scream 6 is, the way that it personifies New York City, I think was just the right amount. If it was any more than that, I would have been like, that's too corny, that's too silly. We kind of do some like almost like deep cut New York stuff. Like if you've never been to New York City, I feel like especially, the bodega thing that's so New York. There are bodegas everywhere. You can go get yourself a good breakfast sandwich. Some of the best breakfast sandwiches I've ever had, mind you. One of my favorite things about going to New York was the little bodega sandwiches. But that was cool. We did a whole little sequence in one of those. That was exciting. That was also very New York. I think the subway scene could have been a little crazier. I wish we got like an actual death there opposed to not getting one at all. With how crazy of a set that was, I kind of imagined we were going to get a big kill there. That's my only complaint about the way the settings were used, though, if I'm being honest. New York apartments, I feel like were used really well. We got that Annika death, which was insane. Come on now. I don't know. There's a lot to love about the New York setting of Scream, personally. I really enjoyed Scream 6. Jem Witt is saying, I don't think anyone will die in 7 except for Mark, Sydney's husband, and her daughter's friends, etc. Sydney, Tatum, Gale, Chad, and Mindy all to survive. God, I hope not. I hope we get at least one emotional death from one of the legacy characters. Again, just a very high point of Scream 5. And honestly, after, Gale was alive in Scream 6, I almost felt like we got, kind of ripped off in those regards of a big death. I think that's almost like a staple of Scream now. So I hope at least one of them dies. I really think that just gives some stakes to all this. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's not a must, but it's like it would aid in it would aid in me liking Scream 7 a little more is what I'll say. But what do I know? What do I know, man? Raggedy Man's got a really good point. What if Chad dies from like just the smallest wound? He just gets stabbed one time and bleeds out. That would actually be so fun. You know what? That would be even better. That's even more hilarious. He just gets poked in the stomach like once and he's like, "Oh, Mindy, I'm seeing the light." It's like, "No, you're not." Like if I was Mindy, I'd be like, "Dude, you're fine. That's a scratch. Come on, man. Stand up. You'll be fine." Oh, that's funny. Speaking of food, I'm eating Thanksgiving leftovers. Love it. Love it, love it. Jake, not horror related, but if you had to have your last meal, what would it be? My last meal? I love chicken teriyaki. I'm just going to be honest. Plain and simple, I have a favorite food. And chicken teriyaki with some noodles, some lo mein, and a bunch of sauce. Like I'm maybe some vegetables too. That I'm so fine with that being my final meal. That is my favorite food on planet Earth. Nothing gets better than that. Are we getting new legacy after Scream 8 like what happened in Screams 5 and 6, like brand new characters? Asks, hey. Well, hey. I kind of hope so. I think that I think it's just getting tougher and tougher to tell a Sydney story. And that's not any sort of negative towards Sidney Prescott as a character, but I think eventually arcs have to end, and I think that 7 would be the perfect way to sunset the Sydney story and move on to something else in Scream 8. I don't want to get to the point where I'm watching. Here's the thing. Before I even say this, we have to accept the fact that Scream is going to outlive Nev Campbell. Scream is going to outlive Kevin Williamson. It's going to outlive a lot of the characters that we love in this franchise. They're gonna make more Scream. Let me ask you this. Would you rather see Sidney Prescott recast in a new movie and they just do a remake? Or would you rather Scream just finally move on to some new characters and just tell more Ghostface stories in the future? I think Sidney Prescott, that arc has to end. No one else can play this character. Her story has pretty much been told already, and anything else we're getting now is extra. And I'm excited for Scream 7 for that reason. I love this character, and I hope that they close out the story in a good way. But realistically, Scream has grown beyond the Nev Campbell and Sidney Prescott story. It's gonna keep going. That's just the nature of these franchises. A lot of people think we're not gonna get any more Halloween films, and I promise you we will. All 3 of those previous Halloween flicks were successful. Even though some were more successful than others, Halloween Ends still made $100 million at the box office. That is still profitable. That's still beyond profitable. So I think that not only will we get more Halloween films, we will also get more Scream movies in the future as well. So eventually we're going to have to pass the torch. We're going to actually have to, give the reins to a new character. Just like how, they said, oh, the Conjuring, that's the last one. Conjuring Last Rites, that was the final movie, guys, even though it made $400 million or some ridiculous shit. They're already working on a prequel, dude. There's going to be more Conjuring films. There's going to be more Scream films. There's going to be more Halloween films. So the reality of it is we have to move on beyond Sydney at some point. So yes, I definitely think that the Sydney story is going to come to an end, or they're going to keep bringing her back for redundant storylines where she may not be necessary. And that, I think, would suck. I think that would actually be disrespectful to the character. It's like eventually you got to just close that story out, man, or this is going to turn into the movies that we were once parodying. That's my big problem with Scream. I don't want it to get to the point where we're like basically doing things that are just like a self-parody. I think with Scary Movie already in existence, Scream comes really close to that line, and I hope that the main franchise itself never ends up actually getting to that point. So I hope that we can still be taking Scream seriously in the next couple of movies, because there's going to be a Scream 8, there's probably going to be a Scream 9, and Scream 10 is probably going to take us to space. Hopefully not. But we're going to get more Scream movies. That's just a given, I think is where we're at with it. Tia is also hanging out with us. What's up, Tia? Hey. How's it going? Welcome in. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you a ton for hopping on the stream. How are you? Fort Misery Gaming is saying, do you wish Samara would have been the opening kill in Scream 6 so we could have had her? Oh, do you wish she wouldn't have been the opening kill so we could have had her in more movies? I really love her, TBH. So sad we won't see her back. 100% yes. I think Samara Weaving would have been a great new final girl to follow across multiple movies. I really thought that she was gonna play a bigger role in Scream 6. I think that with her being so close to Radio Silence, I would have actually loved to have seen her just play a Ghostface in that film, but I also understand making her like sort of the opening kill of Scream 6, right? I also understand that too. Because I think the opening role is always reserved for some sort of big star, and in this case, it was kind of a big misdirection, right? You're thinking, oh, it's radio silence. They're bringing in an actress that they've worked with on their previous biggest project, which was Ready or Not. And you kind of think that's going to be the opening kill. It's just going to be Samara Weaving getting stabbed. Radio silence doing their thing. Let's get into the story now. Why is Ghostface back? But no, it was all just one big misdirection to say we're going to do a big reveal in the opening scene. We're going to reveal 2 Ghostface killers here. And I thought that was fun. I thought that was a really good use of casting that actress in that role to play off of audience expectations, something that Scream has pretty much always done, you know? So yes and no for Misery Gaming. I see what they were doing there, but at the same time, I wish that Samara Weaving would have been some sort of main player in this franchise, because she is just such an excellent actress who has been in so much good stuff, especially horror stuff. It would have been great to see her lead some Scream movies down the line. 100% yes. So I totally hear you there. Is it possible Gale will die? I think yes. I think it's possible that everyone's going to die except for Sydney. Sydney and Tatum, I feel like, are safe. I feel like outside of that, though, anyone's up for grabs. And I think, again, that's just what gives a Scream movie its stakes, you know, is to say that these characters that we love could die in this one. And then we're still talking about how Dewey died in Scream 5, you know? Would we still be talking about Scream 5 as much if he didn't? I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm excited to see what 7 brings to the conversation, I guess is my point. Because I knew the moment I saw that scene for the first time in Scream 5 that was going to be something we'd be talking about on this page for many years to come, and well, here we are. So Scream 7, what's it going to bring to the conversation? What's it going to bring that's new to talk about? That's what I'm excited for. We need a Freddy film, and I think the guy who plays Vecna would be an amazing Freddy. I could not agree more, Erica. Oh my God. And you just sent in a super chat about that. That's so funny. Thank you for the 5, Erica. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I genuinely could not agree with that more. I mean, after watching season 5 especially, I just think this guy could totally pull it off. Like his own take on it too. I wouldn't want to see him do what Robert brought to the character. That was Robert's version of it. You know, just like how Jackie Earle Haley, which make fun of that movie all you want, he did try to do something new, and I respect that. You know, that's what I would want from Freddy. Don't do the exact same thing. Make it your own. And in a lot of ways, I think Henry Creel is a Freddy Krueger style villain. And yes, Jamie Campbell Bower is killing it in that role. We just saw in season 5, he's playing a version of Henry Creel without, looking like Vecna. And I won't say any more than that because I think it kind of gets into spoilers. But the way that he is able to play a character that we think is a good guy, you know what I mean, but clearly has a sinister tones, a sinister edge underneath. I think he just does that so well. Every scene with Jamie Campbell Bower is Vecna. He's menacing. He's got that down, but a lot of people can do that. What Jamie Campbell Bower does so well, though, however, is play that role where you still sense something stinks when he's in that role of Henry, just without all the makeup. He's wearing this suit and he looks all, super professional and aristocratic, maybe even. And there's just something sinister underneath it with the way that he plays it. So I think 100% yes. If they're going to bring back Freddy, they're going to cast a younger guy to do it. Jamie Campbell Bower might be my absolute number one choice. And here's my match made in heaven right now. I've had a lot of people that I've thrown at Nightmare on Elm Street saying they would do something great with the character, or they would direct such a great Nightmare on Elm Street film. Jamie Campbell Bower playing Freddy Krueger and Scott Derrickson directing that's my new dream for the franchise. Because there's so much in Black Phone 2 that is so Nightmare on Elm Street coded. There's so much about Vecna that is Freddy Krueger coded. Bringing that energy together for a new Nightmare on Elm Street film, I just think that would be amazing. I think that would be an 80s horror fan's wet dream is what that would be. So I 100% yes, Erica. And it's funny because I even said that to Madison literally Wednesday night when we were watching it, all of season 5, volume 1. I'm just like, during those scenes, I was like, this guy needs to play Freddy. He does that so well. And to do a version of Freddy where we actually get to see him as a human, like what he was doing before. His time as a dream demon. I really think Jamie Campbell Bower could pull it off very well. So there's just something going on. All I'll say is there's something going on in season 5 that is so Nightmare on Elm Street inspired. And it's done in its own unique way here in Stranger Things that I think is just great. The Duffer Brothers are doing a great job with it, but I really want to see Scott Derrickson's darker edge applied. That's my one thing about season 5 of Stranger Things. My one issue with it is there's a little bit of cheesiness, again, that isn't working for me a little bit. That kind of reminds me a lot of season 2 in a way. So I kind of want to see Scott Derrickson use Jamie Campbell Bower to his advantage. I guess is my point, because Jamie could do a really dark performance and Scott understands how to set that tone the right way. So those two things like meeting, I feel like would make for the perfect dark Freddy film if we could make that happen. Pray to the Hollywood gods that happens. That would be amazing. So Erica, 100% yes. I want to see that happen like more than anything. That would be great. The rights are still really fucked up with the Nightmare on Elm Street. However, it's a very similar situation to where Friday was in a couple of years ago before that court case finally ended. So, will a new Nightmare on Elm Street film happen? It's up in the air, sadly, right now, but I hope it does. And I hope it happens just like how Erica is talking about it. Erica, thank you for the 5. I greatly appreciate your support. And I could not agree more. I really want to see that happen. You're also saying, same for your number one choice. Yes, we need to write a strongly worded letter to someone and get him cast for Freddy. I couldn't agree more. Yes, but someone needs a strongly worded letter from all of us, I think is what's going on. Evan Peters could probably pull off Freddy too. I don't disagree with that either. Evan Peters could do a good job with it. My pick for the longest time, but he's kind of getting older now, is Glenn Howerton. I couldn't remember his last name. Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If he wanted to do like a really weird like switch up in his career, he's always kind of done like comedy. I know him best as Dennis Reynolds in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but if he were to do like a really crazy career switch up and play Freddy Krueger, I think he could do it so well. Dennis Reynolds is a character who is like always been hinted at as a crazy sociopath and pretty much confirmed in later seasons, but I think that he plays like the kind of silly, kind of darkly scary characters so well. So if he brought that energy to a Freddy performance, he could really make that role his own. Mastermind Killer, what's up, Paul? How's it going? Hello, all. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Same to you, my friend. Happy holidays. Thanks for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate you. You're also saying new Scream 7 trailer on December 4th. Yay! Yes! I'm really excited for it. I hope we get some really exciting new stuff to talk about and chew on, because I like chewing on stuff here on this page, let me tell you. Love love throwing my jaw around, as you guys know. And I'm excited to see what comes of it. I'm excited to see what comes of that trailer. I hope it's some good stuff, and some exciting stuff to talk about for sure. In a second here, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to get off and we are going to switch over to the gaming channel GullGotha, where we're going live playing the Terrifier game. So if you guys are excited for that, stop on over to GullGotha. We're going to be playing that here in a second at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 30 minutes from right now. So if you guys want to check out that stream, I'll be hopping over there in a minute. I'll definitely be answering a few more questions across the next 5 minutes, and then we'll be hopping on over there. So stop on by. Jake needs a good 30 some minutes to eat some dinner though. So I'm excited to play that. We're doing the Waves mode specifically. We played through the story mode last Friday, so we're doing Waves mode today. And we're going to try to reach level 100, which is a very tough thing to do. It's you got to play through all the different bosses and enemies again, going up the ladder. It's kind of like in Mortal Kombat when you had to fight all the different characters and then eventually get to Shao Kahn, and he's fucking crazy hard to beat. If you ever played more, I don't know how many Mortal Kombat fans we have out there, but I grew up playing Mortal Kombat, so I'm ready for this tower tonight. 100 levels, easy peasy. I say that now, but it's probably going to be very difficult. Stop on over to GullGotha and see what's going on there. Paul, we don't have any new Terrifier 4 updates, but I did just post a big ol' nasty theory video this week, which you should check out if you haven't seen already. Really fun video. I had a really good time making it. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, would I freak out if we saw Jill in the second Scream trailer? I don't know if I would freak out, but I do love Jill. Again, I don't know if I want Scream is not the place for legacy characters for me personally. And I know I'm very alone in that boat. Everyone wants to see legacy characters in Scream, but like I think there's other franchises where I'd be a little more excited for that. But hey, you know what? If we saw Jill, that would be exciting. I love Emma Roberts. She's definitely one of my favorite characters, without a doubt. So there would be some excitement for sure. So a little bit of doubt, but some excitement as well. Paula Fitzhenry is saying, I don't want to say that out loud. But Paula, I will say, to answer your question, I have mixed feelings about that in Stranger Things. I have mixed feelings, not 100% sure how I feel about it. But again, Stranger Things 5, we've only seen volume 1. We have not seen the full season. I feel like to go so scorched earth on it right now wouldn't exactly be fair. I haven't seen how they're going to utilize this character, who I admittedly actually kind of like. But again, I think that character represents a very low point in the show. So I guess that's what worries me about the rest of season 5. But I want to see how it all shakes out before I start, really diving into it and breaking it down. But I hope that they utilize her for a good purpose. That's what I'll say, because I think it's a really, really odd character, really strange direction to take the series in. But I'm open-minded to it. We'll see what happens. But guys, thank you again so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will be live again tomorrow as well if you want to talk more Scream. I'm going to have M from Horror Her on the page, and we're going to be talking a bunch of different Scream theories that, she might have. What's really nice about having different people on the page is we get to hear different perspectives. I sometimes feel like a broken record talking about my opinions about Scream 7, but we're going to have M on the page, and she's going to give us her take on Scream 7. So stop on by tomorrow. It's going to be a really fun stream. We're doing it at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so a little earlier than usual. But it's still going to be fun. Gaming channel tonight in like 20 minutes, 28 minutes exactly. Stop on by. It's going to be a fun stream. So I'm sure someone has put the link in there at some point in the stream, probably Erica, because she's awesome. But stop on by, check it out, give it a watch, give it a whirl even. And tell us how you think about that one. It's going to be fun. But guys, again, thank you so much for the love. Stop on by the gaming channel. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Bye-bye.